BFF is the family you choose. Love has a great sense of humor. People often say your best friend is the family you choose. In my case, she practically became family anyway. My name is Rachel Tan. And this is the story of my best friend, Linda. We met when we were 7 years old. Both wearing oversized school uniforms. Standing nervously outside our primary 1 classroom at CHIJ. I smiled first. Hi. I'm Rachel. She smiled back. I'm Linda. That was it. No grand introduction. No dramatic moment. Just 2 little girls who became inseparable. We attended CHIJ together. We did everything together. Primary school. Secondary school. School camps. Sports day. Choir. Homework. Exams. Whenever teachers wanted one of us, the other was usually nearby. Our classmates joked. You two came as a package. Even our mothers became friends. Every Friday after school, we'd stop at the neighborhood bakery, buy a sugar donut, then walk home discussing absolutely everything. At 16, we promised each other, no matter what happens, we stay friends. Neither of us realized. Life was quietly preparing an even bigger surprise. Junior college became harder. Longer nights. More assignments. University applications. Late-night study sessions fueled by Kopi and instant noodles. One evening Linda announced, I've decided. What? Computer science. I smiled. Me too. We high-fived. Imagine. One day we'll work together. Life smiled quietly. Again. It had other plans. Application results arrived. I was accepted into NUS. Linda accepted an offer from NTU. For the first time in over a decade, we wouldn't be attending the same school. We laughed about it. We survived primary school. We survived secondary school. We'll survive university. Still, I worried. Especially because NTU was farther away. Then I remembered someone. My brother. My brother Daniel was 1 year older than me. He was already studying computer science at NTU. I called him. Can you do me a favor? What? Look out for Linda. He laughed. She's not a child. I know. But she's my best friend. Fine. I'll make sure nobody bullies her. I smiled. Good. Famous last words. University wasn't like school. Everyone had different timetables. Projects. Internships. Hackathons. Part-time jobs. Sometimes weeks passed before Linda and I could meet. Whenever I asked, everything okay? She always smiled. Busy. So am I. Still. We made time. Occasionally. Usually over supper. Around that same time, something unexpected happened. I started dating Jason. Who was Jason? Only my brother Daniel's best friend. We met through campus activities at NUS. Funny. Kind. Terrible at cooking. Excellent at making me laugh. We quietly kept our relationship to ourselves. Mostly because I wasn't ready for my brother's reaction. This story is created by Pearl. I hope you will subscribe so that we can continue to create more stories for your listening pleasure. Months passed. One evening Linda arrived late for dinner. Smiling. Very smiling. I looked suspicious. What happened? Nothing. You only smile like that when something happened. She shook her head. Nothing. I narrowed my eyes. I've known you since you were 7. I know your lying face. She laughed. It's not lying. It's complicated. The truth came completely by accident. I was looking through family photos on Mum's tablet. One new picture appeared. My brother. At Gardens by the Bay. Standing beside Linda. Both smiling. Very suspiciously. I blinked. Then zoomed in. They were holding hands. I shouted loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Daniel. That evening everyone gathered in the living room. Daniel looked guilty. Linda looked equally guilty. I folded my arms. So. Anyone want to explain? Daniel smiled sheepishly. We've been dating. Since when? He looked at Linda. She answered quietly. Since. We were 17. I blinked. 17? You mean? When I asked you to look after her? Daniel nodded. I did. I looked after her. Linda burst into laughter. So well. That we're still together. I covered my face. I created this. Daniel smiled. Actually, I've got another question. What? When were you planning to tell me? About Jason? Silence. I slowly looked at Jason. Then back at Daniel. You know? He laughed. You think my best friend suddenly started volunteering to fetch you home for no reason? Jason raised his hand. I tried being subtle. Daniel laughed. You failed. The following Sunday, both families gathered. My mom looked around the table. So, my daughter is dating my son's best friend. My son is dating my daughter's best friend. Dad nodded slowly. That sounds unnecessarily complicated. Linda's father laughed. Singapore is a very small island. Jason grinned. Or, life has a fantastic sense of humor. Later that evening Linda and I sat on the balcony. Exactly like we used to after school. She smiled. You know, you asked Daniel to look after me. I know. You probably didn't mean. For the rest of his life. We both laughed until tears formed. I nudged her. You stole my brother. She smiled. You stole his best friend. Fair. I suppose we're even. A few years later, both couples were still as close as ever. Weekend dinners had become wonderfully chaotic. Daniel would argue with Jason about football. Linda and I would roll our eyes. Our parents simply enjoyed watching us laugh together. One evening my younger cousin asked, how did all this happen? I looked around the dining table. My best friend. My brother. My boyfriend. Our parents chatting like old friends. I smiled. It started in primary one. The little boy frowned. No. I mean, how did your best friend become your sister-in-law? I laughed. Because I made one tiny mistake. What mistake? I asked my brother. To look after my best friend. Everyone burst into laughter. Daniel raised his glass. Best instruction I ever received. Jason smiled. And I got Rachel. Linda squeezed my hand. You know what's funny? What? We spent years worrying we'd grow apart because we went to different universities. I nodded. Instead, our families somehow became even closer. Dad smiled. I've always believed Singapore is small. Mom laughed. No. It's just that when the right people are meant to meet, they keep finding one another. As everyone continued laughing over dessert, I realized something. Maybe Singapore really is a small island. Or maybe, life simply has a wonderful habit of bringing the right people back together in the most unexpected ways. And every time someone asks how my best friend became part of my family, I simply smile and say, I accidentally outsourced the job to my brother. And somehow, he never gave her back. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. It was created by Pearl with Drama Spark. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in love. Here, we're honored to bring you stories of hope, love, and the resilience of the human spirit.